Hello, I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Learn to Draw Today, and my companion website, learntodraw.today. If you've always wanted to be able to draw better, then I'm here to help you. In each of these video tutorials on this channel, you're going to learn to draw something that's fairly simple but still quite a challenging little drawing. And I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. I don't think any of us were born knowing how to draw. Being able to draw is something that you can learn. So I'm here to help you to learn to do just that. So I hope you enjoy this upcoming video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw a kawaii cloud, something like this one here. So to get started, I'm going to use a micron pen, and this is a 05, but you can use pretty much any sort of pen that you like. If you use a thicker pen, then the outlines are just going to be thicker. So let's just move this one to one side and let's get started. So one of the things that's really important when you get started drawing is that you take things really slowly. So you don't want to just sort of rush around and start drawing shapes. You want to just sort of think about it as you work. So I'm going to draw the bottom line of my cloud here. So I'm just going to draw it very carefully. Then I'm going to start drawing the curly bits. So I'm going to do a couple of curly bits at least until I get to the one that is like the curl on the cloud's top. So I'm going to do one and then a second one. And at this point, I'll think and see if I want to do this as the curly one. And I think I will today. So let's just go. And this one is going to go all the way around into a curl. And then we're going to continue on. So I'm just going to find a place here. Again, just taking my time in drawing these. Now, as I'm getting towards the end, I'm sort of doing some mental measurements because I don't want to get to sort of here and realize I have to do a really small bump. So I'm going to do some mental measurements. And if you want to, you could even just add some dots in here to say, okay, well, I'm going to do one loop to here, one to here, and this is going to be my final. So I'm going to just do one. And then one over to here, and then one over here to the very end. So you'll find that when you get drawing, you won't need to put those dots in. You'll find that you'll be thinking, oh, I've got to get right to the end. Do I have room for 2 or do I have room for 3? I could have just done 2 here, but I would have had to be really careful about where I positioned them. So now I'm going to put these little dots in. These are kind of cute. You can leave them out if you don't like them. And I've just probably done a really bad thing there is that I've got my hand over the just inked areas. So you may want to actually work this way around so that you're not working on top of things that you've just inked. But these Sakura Micron pens are like really awesome. So they tend not to smudge. They dry really, really quickly, which is why I just love to use them. So, but you want to be careful if you're using other pens that you're not working straight over the top of somewhere that you've just inked because there is a chance that it'll all smudge. Now the eyes of this cloud, I'm going to use fairly typical kawaii style eyes. This is really quite a big drawing, so I can do quite big eyes. And so I'm going to draw 2 circles here for the eyes. And now the eyes have to be identical. So I'm going to draw an inside big circle and then a little one below it. And so this one, I don't want to be doing it on this angle. It has to be exactly the same angle here. So otherwise your cloud is going to look like it's cross-eyed. And we don't want cross-eyed clouds. So once I've done that, I'm just going to shade in around it. And again, you can see that I'm just taking my time. I don't want to do this too fast because I don't want to go over the lines that I've drawn. I want to make sure that it's really neat. And so drawing should be relaxing. This is not something that you should be really stressed over. You should just really enjoy doing. So I'm just going to fill in this eye here. And I'm thinking as I'm drawing that probably this pen is just about on its last legs. It's not quite as juicy as it used to be. I've been taking these on planes lately, and I took this pen on a flight to Australia, and none of my pens have been quite the same since they were on the aircraft. So Might just be aware of that. And make sure your pens are nice and juicy and fresh. So I've just made those eyes match in size. Now this is another optional bit, but I like to put like some little shading for like the cheeks of my cloud. So I'm just going to add the same shading either side. And then the mouth is going to go in the middle. So I'm just sort of eyeballing this. And it's going to be a smile cloud. So there are different kinds of faces that you can use for your kawaii shapes, but this is the one I'm going to use. So next up I go and get a pen to do like the outside here. So you can see that there's some shading around this cloud. So I'm going to add the shading. And for this, I really love to use Prismacolor markers. So this one's a cool gray, which means that it's sort of like a blue gray. If it were a warm gray, it'd be more like a pink gray, but this is a blue gray. So what I'm going to do is take the end off here, and I'm going to use the large end. So I'm just going to draw around here. And this is the one time that I will turn my paper around as I go, because it's just a bit easier to handle a broad marker like this if you turn the paper as you go, because otherwise it's really hard to turn your hand to make sure that the marker goes flat. So again, I'm just going to take my time doing this, and you know, this is a sort of kawaii doodle, kawaii being the Japanese word for cute. And so I'm just going to take it very steadily, but if I go over the line, you know, this doesn't matter because this is a doodle. And one of the other things about these Prismacolor markers is that they sort of build up as you go. So you get this sort of textured look, if you like, because every time you go over an area, you get a slightly darker pen line. So you can build up some texture with them, and I really kind of like to do that. And I'm going to finish off with Kawaii Cloud. So I'm going to actually give it a label. So back to my Sakura Micron pen, and I'm just sort of eyeballing how much room I've got here for my text. And I like to practice my fancy writing here, so I don't actually usually write quite like this, but I like to make sure that my Kawaii Cloud has a sort of cute writing on it. So there we have our finished kawaii cloud. Japanese word for cute. This is a kawaii cloud that you could use on a card, or you can just draw for practice, or you might want to incorporate it in your own doodles. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for this drawing video. Look out for more drawing videos here on my YouTube channel.